when we are tracking and tracing any LSP industry or any shipping scenario. Okay. So today I'll just be starting off with the event management, and tomorrow I will be starting off with the SIF, which I said last class. Okay. Right now I'm preparing the test data and everything, so it is almost done. So tomorrow we'll be starting with how the integration model setup is done in your ECC system, how it gets transferred to TM system to create your shipping point, customers, locations, etc. Okay. So that is the way, that is the basic, objective of this week's classes we'll have. So does anyone have an idea what does event management do in any type of TM projects you have worked on, or any type of visibility process which is there in the system as of now? Does anyone have any idea? Hello?
Sorry, Indra, yeah, we just kept on mute, so.
Yeah, so I just wanted yeah, please continue, please. So does anyone have any idea what does event management do?
No.
Okay, just one moment, just one moment. Monitoring of shipment is done because whenever you are creating any transportation requirement or whenever you are creating any forwarding order or freight booking or freight unit, so these are the basic the objects which we speak in TM. So it's very much important that you should have a visibility of every tracking object, like where is the shipment now, where in which location it is currently being located, or at what time my shipment will reach to the consignee. So all such information is available very much in TM system, but in order to have more details about the locations, basically if an shipment does not arrive on time, how does the system react? So it's a type of exceptional reporting which we have in TM system, which we call as a event management system. So event management system basically can be in the same server where TM is located, or it can be in another client also where TM is not located. So based on my experience, what I have seen, due to whenever there is a heavy, shipments passing, like there are many shipments which is being created by the business on a daily basis, it is always preferred that event management should rest on a different client or a different server. Okay. And the major, you can say one specific features which we have in event management is that it does not have any transaction data or master data. It extracts the data from your TM system. So unless you have your, the tracking objects like your freight order, freight booking or forwarding order in your system, event management cannot work. Okay. So if you see my slide, can you view my screen? Did you see the slide which is open in front of you?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So if you see, the basic definition of supply chain event management is, it's an application that supports control processes for managing events between companies. So, there are three different ways in which event management works. First of all, it's a visibility and collaboration. So visibility means whenever you are creating sales order, purchase order, like from ECC perspective, all the various events like loading in, unloading, checking, checkout, all those events can be tracked and traced in event management. So the entire visibility of your orders tracking, orders tracking means your purchase order, sales order, stock transport order, even your purchase order returns, sales order returns, warehouse management, everything is visible through the event management part. Because currently in your ECC system you only get any information whenever you navigate to an object. But in case of event management, the entire visibility of all business documents can be obtained within one transaction. So that's why, from the, from BI perspective, like from analytics perspective, from dashboard reporting perspective, from the monitoring perspective, event management is the most important tool which is used nowadays along with the TM. And collaboration. The word collaboration means whenever you are interacting with your external systems. So for example, if any carrier, submits, if any carrier says that I report POD, proof of delivery. So that proof of delivery basically, is reported whenever the goods reach the consignee. Now there is a standard, EM BAP is available, which directly receives the messages from an external carrier and collaborates easily. So that's why, again, it's the best practice, you can say, that whenever we are building TM and EM together, all the inbound reporting from a carrier or from other systems, EM should be the leading system. And from EM, it synchronously updates your TM system. But whenever we are doing any type of outbound messages delivered, like if we are doing any customer messaging delivery, it should always be your TM system which should pass on the message to your EM system, and then it should go out. So that is the collaboration part which we always have in event management. So if you see the diagram here, visibility and collaboration I have explained. Next, the sense and respond. What do you mean by sense and respond? So sense means, for example, suppose your shipment is supposed to reach Canada at around 11 AM in the morning, and suppose it leaves from India to Canada. Now from India, from India means if it leaves from Calcutta, it will move to Mumbai. From Mumbai, suppose it goes to Emirates. From Emirates, it goes to Canada. So at each and every location, the event management system will sense where is your shipment. Like at each and every location, it will provide you the exact information. And respond, what do you mean by respond? Respond means if the customer is informed that at 11 AM it will reach Canada, and by chance by 11:15 the customer has not received the goods, that means the goods are arriving late. So what will the system do? So event management has a proactive reporting functionality. That means it will send alerts to the customer that your shipment is 15 minutes late. So that's why it says it responds to any type of exceptional shipment in any type of exceptional circumstances. So for example, if a shipment is getting damaged, it may be an accident, or there are some customs clearance issues, so maybe the shipment will be delayed. That's why the system will directly respond to the last minute changes in your particular shipment date and time. So that is how the entire functionality is taken care by the event management system. So just let me know if you have any question on this slide. Any question?
Indra, this is Krishna.
Yeah.
I understand that based on this discussion, this event management and the TM are two independent different systems, right?
Yeah.
So while communicating, so do we need to build some kind of interfaces, or is there an integration between both the systems, like a middleware kind of stuff? How it is integrated?
Yeah. So it's a very good question. So see, there are two ways. First of all, as I've said, that the EM system comes, you can install in the same client in the TM system. You only need a RFC setup. Okay. So because the communication how TM and EM operates is based on your QRFC approach, queued RFC. Okay. So you just need to set up the logical system, your TM system. You need to set up your another system as EM system. You just do the connectivity between an RFC setup between them. And once the RFC setup is done, it just the EM system sends messages, the TM system updates, or the TM system sends messages, the EM system updates. Okay. So it's basically, it's a very simple communication you set up. So you just set up a logical system, you define the RFC, and you just need to maintain that your logical system of EM and TM should match with each other. That's it, nothing else. And even if you go for any external legacy system, for example, I just give any type of example, like your warehouse system or your any type of logistic provider system which is outside your SAP periphery. EM has a strong, has a inbuilt BAPI there. So it basically, directly pulls in the data from any external legacy application system into the SAP environment. So that's why what I said, like whenever your carriers are reporting any events or any type of warehouse is updating any type of information, EM should be the leading inbound system from where it synchronously updates the TM system. I hope the synchronous word is common to everyone, right? You understand what I mean by synchronous, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So that means if you're updating any event, for example, proof of delivery in your TM system, at the same time, it will automatically update your EM system, and vice versa also holds good. Okay? So is there any other question before I move to the next slide? Okay. So, so basically, if we now segregate what are the functionalities EM system will do, there are 5 functionalities. One is the monitor. Monitor means you're monitoring of your basic. Sorry, any question?
Indra, one question.
Yeah.
This event management is in the same box. Like, do
Yeah.
we still need this QRFC connection, or just we don't need it all? The connections like integrates
Oh,
on.
see, I will show you in the system. We need to basically always maintain the connectivity between those systems, because see, there are 2 ways. Either you can use an IDOC approach or you can use a RFC approach. Okay?
Even if it's in the same box.
Yeah, in the same box also.
Okay.
Because okay, I'll just explain you in the last. Just remind me when I complete the slides. You come to know about certain objects which exist in EM system, and RFC is always preferred than IDOCs, and I'll tell you the reason why. Okay. Okay. So if we now segregate basically the basic functions of event management, it comes down into 5 different parts. One is the monitoring. So as I've said, the shipment monitoring is done end to end by event management. One is the notification. So notification of alerts or unexceptional events, all those things are done by the event management. Simulate. Simulate means, for example, we can set up rules in event management that if a shipment is delayed by 10 minutes, you need to set up alerts. Or if a shipment is delayed by 20 minutes, you need to send a notification through iPhone. So this is a simulation, you can say. So what will the system do in case some unforeseen circumstances are there? So control. Control means in the form of sending alerts, you can basically control the entire supply chain planning also. So that you know for example, if a shipment is not reaching at a particular stage, so then the transportation planner is immediately informed, and he can control the departure vessel from there at a different time. So the entire control of the supply chain can be monitored or done by using the event management part. And the last one is the measure supply chain activities. This is mostly related to the measurement, that is your BI, your dashboard reporting. Like if you want to measure the performance of your carriers, or if you want to measure like how is my particular supplier, whether his materials are receiving at the correct time, or whether how much of discrepancies are there, what is the performance of your transportation network. So everything can be measured through the BI part, and this is how the measuring part is also carried out by the event management. Is it clear? I move to the next slide.
Yes, we just keeping a mix of.
Okay, so this is just the basic architecture we have on event management, and again it varies from project to project, but in standard you can have this type of architecture basically. Okay, one more thing, whenever from now onwards I will speak TM with reference to EM, TM I will always refer to as my application system. Basically, as I've said, that there are no transactions or master data created in event management. Okay, so all my application system should be that system where the data is created. That is my ECC, my CRM system, my TM system, all are my application system. Okay, And in the front end, when you see the event management system, basically it interacts with the backend systems through your particular interface, application interface. Okay, this interface is standby interface, which is there within event management system. Also, if you see the devices means the handheld devices. So handheld device means if you go to your warehouse system, you can make use of your handheld devices to count for your particular warehouse goods and all everything. All those details can be captured from your handheld devices into event management system also. So for example, the tracker. So sometimes what happen, basically the tracker use their mobile devices to report their events. Like at a particular location, the materials have reached to the particular customer, and they want to report the proof of delivery, or they can also report, for example, departure event. So such type of events can be even be reported through your handheld devices, that is through your mobiles and all Android devices, and this is also interfaced with your event management system. And if you see in the right hand side now, you have your portal. That is what I have said, that I'm not going to details of this. And also the analytics. Again, analytics part is more of the BI part, but you know the major advantage of why almost all the companies are going for event management is that they have these standard interfaces. They have such as inbuilt this particular BAPIs and these interfaces built in that they can be interfaced with any other external applications with minimal cost. Okay, so that's why people are also using the event management system nowadays into a more effective approach, because previously event management was not you can say that advertised by SAP in that way, but right now means for any visibility purpose, if any customers are they are using SAP TM, they are also using the SAP event management also everywhere. And I will show you in the TM system where you can view all those events and all. I think in the first class I have just given you an overview, but maybe I'll show you how to where can you report events and how the event management comes into the picture in terms of TM. Any question on this? Okay, just one moment. Okay, so how EM works? Yeah, how EM works. So the business process is represented by an event handler, including, see, when you use the word event handler, so you can say the basic skeleton of an event management system is this particular object, event handler. So event handler basically, like if I give an example, so in transportation management, we are using freight order, freight booking as the major business object, right? And within each object, you have to monitor the events. So every object has a unique tracking ID. So like for example, freight order has a tracking ID as a freight order number. For example, 600016. This is one freight order number. So the tracking ID is 600016. And when you enter into event management system, you just need to enter your tracking ID there, and there you can view all the events. So that basically that is where you can view the event handler. So event handler contains details of all the events, who has reported the event, when it was reported, at which location it was reported, what are the status of the events, everything in details you can find in the event handler. Okay, and one important thing is that data only flows from your TM to EM system, provided we need to build an extractor there. So I will tell you in details what do you mean by extractor. The extractor means it's a particular coding we need to do. We need to inform the event management system which fields in the TM system will provide the data. So for example, it's very simple, like you want to capture a data when a shipment leaves a port of loading. Okay, so at that time what will happen in the TM system, you have to tell to the system that my extraction data will be the departure date. So you have your stages tab, the departure date. So then I need to build up an extractor in event management system which will extract the data from your TM to EM. And then when you go into your EM system, you will find that the departure date and time from your TM system is the date or time at which your shipment has left the port of loading. And then when you go into the event handler transaction, the departure event will be reported with that same date and time. So that is how this extractor works. Also the status. So status information is very much important. Status, there are multiple statuses in any system. I will tell you what are the various statuses we can have. In the corresponding slides I have shown that. Next is a milestone. Milestones and expected measurements contain information about what is planned to happen in the process. So whenever you are designing event management in coordination with your TM system, there are two concepts. One is your planned date and one is your actual date. Can anyone tell me from the terminology what do you mean by planned date and actual date?
Generally, whenever you are planning to send some, shipping some information, that's when the planned date.
Yeah.
And then the actual date is like generally exact time, how much it will take to do the manufacturing and what exact date you are sending, that's an actual date.
Yeah, correct. So basically, for example, if you are planning, to depart from a particular port at 10 o'clock. So like for example, so the departure event will have a planned date as 10 o'clock, that is 10 p.m. But if for example, if due to delay and all it departs at 10:15, so the actual date and time will be 10:15. Okay. So that is why the measurements, so you can also do measurement. Measurement means, for example, in your forwarding order or if in your sales order, purchase order, you have certain quantities there, right? You need to have quantities in your ECC objects. So also it measures. For example, if in the order it's 5 quantities and if you have example received 3 quantities, so that means your expected measurements is 5 but your actual is 3. So these are discrepancies of 2. And these 2 quantities of discrepancy can also be measured effectively in event management system. Okay. Now the third point, actual events and measurements are posted manually or from system. So this is a very important part. So events needs to be reported, right? The actual part has to be reported. The plan part comes from your extraction, but the actual part has to be done either by the user or it comes via the interface or it comes via via some other legacy applications. So what are the different ways in which the actuals get posted? For example, it can be through web, it can be through handheld device, it can be through any B2B exchange. You can also upload an attachment. For example, if whenever the goods reach the customer signs it, right, for proof of delivery. So that signature, the digital signature can serve as an attachment for reporting your actual date and time. Okay. And the last part is that it allows responses. So event management has various rules which we call as rule sets. So rules means if a certain things do not occur at a certain time, then how will the system behave? So that is the meaning of rules. So we have various rule sets and these rule sets basically define what the event management system will do in case the actual differs from the planned. Okay. We always expect that whatever we are planning, actual should occur as per that, but that is not exactly the situation in any type of logistics service industry business, right? There is always a deviation, there is always some gaps. So these gaps are being defined and actions are being taken in the form of responses by event management system. Any question here? No question.
Yes, okay. We're getting it.
Sorry?
No, we don't have any question.
Okay. Okay, so I've been using the word expected event and actual events. So this is what the basic difference. If you see, there are 2 types of events. One is the tracked events that you expect to occur, which are known as the milestones. For example, purchase order created, purchase order goods received, the invoice received. So all these are expected, right? You are expecting certain things to occur at a certain time. But actual events means tracked events that actually occur. For example, including those that could possibly occur during a process but are not planned. So the actual events can also lead to an unexpected event. As I have said, that discrepancies can be an unexpected event. Delays, damages can be an unexpected event. Okay. So, so this is the basic classification of the events. One is a regular event, that is a normal event. One is an early or late event. So that means if an event you are planning at 10 a.m., if it occurs at 8 a.m., it's an early. Late means if it occurs after 10. Unexpected event, for example, damages, delays, these are all unexpected. You don't expect to occur this, right? So these are all unexpected events. An unreported event. So for example, if an event is not reported, for example, proof of delivery, you are going to report that event, but it is still not reported. So that is called an unreported event. Clear? Okay. So I think this I have already explained in the first slide. So the monitoring means the different types of monitoring of events. Notify means the alerts, how it is sent through your different types of devices. The control, like the control means the learn and the partner performance analyze, and adjust. Adjust means the plan, simulation, collaboration. So these are all adjusting. So this is just a a graphic display or description of what these 4 different mechanisms mean in EM management. So adjust means the automatic exceptions resolution, which I have said. I think if you read also, I think you can understand what I mean by it. Just let me know if you have any question on this slide before I move to the next slide. Shall I move to the next slide? It's okay?
Yes, but I have a question. Like you're going to show us like how to configure, right? This EM and how the workflow happens. When we do something in the EM.
It's more of an overview. It's more of an overview I will cover in event management, because in transportation management, this course is specially scheduled for the transportation management. I can only show you, the transaction data, how do you capture events, and how do you report events. That's it. But I will not go into details of configuration from event management perspective. Because if we incorporate event management here into TM, then it will be a big course. Okay, means because already TM is already very extensive. So it's only from the end user perspective I will show you. So I think I've given an example: adjust, monitoring, notify. So these are all examples. Just go through this slide. It's, I think, the same thing which I have been speaking of. So monitoring means a web interface is available, providing an authorization filter, role-based approach makes it possible. So you can monitor the entire shipment through the web UI. So like in TM we have a UI. Similarly in event management also we have a web UI, where based on various scenarios you need to input some data and the output is obtained, which is enough for you to have a visibility of the shipment. Is this slide clear?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. What are the other capabilities you have within event management system? As I've said, it provides monitoring capability to any business process, SAP or external business process. It tracks status changes to business process. So that is one capability you have within event management. It also matches the planned with the unplanned or with the actual. Uncovered exception. Exception means always your unexpected event. Okay. Can anyone tell me what is in the system? Just you using your expertise, or just trying to have some idea there. In a system, how can you differentiate between an unexpected event and an expected event? Anything which comes into your mind? No idea. See, an expected event, I have said, it always has a planned date. An unexpected event can never have a planned date, right? Is that differentiation clear to you? Yeah. Because if you are using unexpected event, like for example delay, damage or delay, it is never planned, right? So it can never have a planned date. It is always an unplanned event. So it can only have the actual date and time. But whenever you are speaking of expected event, that means it will always have a planned date. Okay. So the next is your visibility to business process details. So it is very much important whenever you are setting up the design of event management. These are the three important things which one needs to take in, always need to have in mind. Location. So like whenever we'll see event management system, like some data within your TM, you'll always find that all the events have locations attached to it, because unless you have locations attached, you will not be able to know where is the event performed. So event, locations, time zones, these are some of the important and mandatory fields which needs to be reported every time whenever any person is working on event management system. So basically without location you will not be able to know where that unexpected event has occurred, or even the expected event has occurred, you should know at which location or point of time the event has occurred. Similarly, measurements. What weight, temperature, dimensions should the object in the processes have? So measurement also is very much important. And who is performing the event, whether it's your carrier, whether it's your transportation planner, whether it's someone from your supply chain network, who is performing this event reporting, monitoring, those things needs to be captured in your mind. Even if it comes through interface also, you should have your, the user ID, who reported the event and all, so that everyone knows like the origin of the event and who has reported the event. And another important thing is that analytical reporting. This is very much important because in every project we have nowadays the BI, the dashboard, the reporting which the key stakeholders needs to have an input on, right? So analytical reporting capability is very much inbuilt within event management. So it addresses some of the common questions which we have, like how have my processes been performing, how to measure your partner performance, how to measure your internal performance, how to provide your KPI reporting, what are my operational reporting capabilities. So all these questions will be addressed once you have your event management system integrated with your NetWeaver BI system. Okay. So before I come to the visibility process, so any other question or any other part which you feel that you need some more info? So in your current, like in your projects and all, like in your company, are they using event management or no? Are you aware of that or?
Yeah, most of the systems we use is like ECC, so I don't think they have this kind of EM tools.
So you can also capture events within your ECC also. So that's why I am coming to this visibility process.
Can you brief?
So, yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit how it would?
Yeah. So I just go through this slide. I'll just explain you this slide, and I think you can understand. So for example, a visibility process. A visibility process is a template to make implementation easier for the customer. So you know there are certain pre-configured scenarios within event management system which is integrated with your various purchasing processes, sales processes, production processes, warehouse management processes. Okay. So there are certain predefined events. Like as I've said, for purchasing processes, you have your purchase order, you have your goods receipt, you have the invoice verification. So at each and every point of transactions, basically, you can monitor when have your purchase order being received, when is the acknowledgement being given by the vendor, when has been your good receipt been done or good issue been done, if there are any discrepancies, how much quantity discrepancies are there, if in case you have done the invoicing being done through Miro, when has the invoicing been completed, if any Miro has been blocked for invoicing, if then why it has been blocked, when it was blocked, if it is blocked, what are the proactive actions that can be taken. So these are some of the various questions which can be addressed by the event management. So it's not only within TM, but because the course is related to TM, that's why I'm speaking of TM, but for ECC also is the same thing. But again, as I've said, that this product was not publicized, means was not advertised by SAP in that way for ECC, because we have very much less cheaper scenario when EM was integrated at that time. But right now, you know, after it has been, you know, tested and verified that EM is absolutely a requirement with TM, now ECC integration with EM is also has a very much high demand. So these predefined templates, I will show you in the system. What do you mean by these predefined templates? So you know there are certain specific events which is already inbuilt within the EM system for various processes, and these are defined as a templates. Like for production order, we have a predefined template. For sales order, for purchase order, for stock transport order, for warehouse management, also for any returns process, everything is been, you know, there are templates in event management system which takes care of all this. So if I just give an example of TM to EM integration process. So you know the blue legend indicates your expected event and your red color indicates your unexpected event. So if you see here, whenever you, for example, any goods or any shipment is moving from a supplier to a consignee, basically the goods have to be picked up from the supplier warehouses. It reaches to a particular hub. Okay, so hub means is the place where basically your consolidation is done. So for example, you know, means it can pick up goods from various suppliers, 2 or 3 suppliers. So it always comes to a hub, because the hub is the point where consolidation of all your goods are done. So from hub basically is attached from near to hub we have your port of loading. So when I speak of ocean scenario, it is always your port. When I speak of air scenario, it's always your you know the like the flight, like the airport and all. Okay. So if you see the green hub there, so from hub to hub we have your ocean here, that is ship, from your port of loading to port of discharge. Once it reaches to your port of discharge, it goes to your hub again in the import side. Import side means in your next destination location. There the deconsolidation of the goods are done, and from that hub it goes to your consignee directly through truck. So if you see this entire scenario, we are mainly considering 3 stages here. 1, from your supplier to the hub, from the point of consolidation of the hub to the point of deconsolidation to the hub, and from the point of deconsolidation to the hub to your customer. Okay. So here there are various events at each and every point of arrival and departure. So if you see from the supplier, the event is scheduled. So first the loading process begins. After loading process begins, the loading ended. Then it has a departure. The departure means again the departure from your particular hub. From the departure, it goes to your arrival. From the arrival, again it goes to your unloading, because obviously in the port of loading you need to unload the goods from the hub also, right? So unloading begin, unloading end. Then maybe when it reaches the port of discharge, there is a damage. So damage red means it's an unexpected event. Again the same process will repeat on your import side also. After the point of reconciliation, you have your arrival, then the unloading begin, unloading end. So this is, some of the events which you can track at a freight unit. Similarly, for a freight order or booking order, you have the similar events. Loading begin, loading end, proof of pickup. So these are some standard, some of the predefined events which SAP has given to us. This is known as a template. So this template is mainly for your TM system. Similarly, we have templates for ECC also.
So Indra, I have one question. So if it is the standard SAP event, let's assume yes, loading begins, shipment schedule or something. So if it is the EM system already in the same box, like it is connected, so do we need to do any configuration, or maybe based upon these standard SAP events, it will get the event notification automatically to the EM system, or do we have to do anything if it is in the same suite?
Yeah. So if we, tell me.
Yeah, for example, if it is the first one, like okay, schedule is one event, loading begin, because I don't want schedule to be an event. Whenever loading begin, I want to be notified. So that's how we can configure when to trigger event.
Yeah. So see, there are two things we need to keep in mind. As I've said, SAP has provided predefined standard events, okay? But maybe the business processes varies from company to company. Maybe the departure for certain companies at a different length of time than the departure for some other company, okay? So if you're using the standard processes, it's only, as I've said, you just set up the RFC, you just set up the, we need to activate some of the business functions. You need to, activate within the freight unit, freight booking and freight order, the event management settings. I'll show you what are the different settings we have in event management that needs to be activated. So once these basic configurations are there, and if you only want to track and trace SAP defined events, even you don't need to do any development. Directly configuration and logical system updation is sufficient to have your EM system updated. So I think, is my answer clear, or you have any other question?
It's clear.
Yeah. So as I've said, that for TM system, basically you need to keep in mind that there are three business objects on which your event management will work. It will never work on your forwarding order. If you are speaking from LSP industry scenario, always your event management integration starts with the freight unit, and then freight order, freight booking. Okay, even your service order is not integrated with event management. Okay, so these are the three business objects based on which your event management tracking starts. So the only thing you need to keep in mind, there are only certain configurations which needs to be activated at these three business objects level, which will help you to start your event management operations. Nothing else. So if you see this particular tracked objects, as I've stated, it's a freight unit, freight order, freight booking. And the templates which I have stated, these templates are nothing but a form of tracking IDs, which is, if you see, ODT20_FU, that means it's always a freight unit, FU. ODT20_TO, TO means it's always a freight order or freight booking. Okay, so these are the standard events which you have in your system. These are already in place, but what I have seen in my experience with event management system is that your standard events are hardly being used, apart from proof of delivery, departure and arrival. It's always a customized one. So yeah, so these are the just the basic overview you can say from event management perspective. So before I just go into the system, just to give you an example, not an example because I need to set up the event management stuff in the system, which we'll do in course of time. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Nothing.
All are clear?
Yeah, I don't have any question.
Okay.
So you're saying like other than like for example proof of delivery and departure, so maybe client wants these two, like, so do we do customized if something, oh I need a signature also coming to the event, like I want to see that, so that's where we customize, or just okay I'm just comfortable with proof of delivery so we can use standard, right?
We can use that only.
Okay.
See, the customization and development. So, okay. So, in any type of project, when you are moving with event management, basically you need to have ABAP skills in place. Okay. Because if you see here, basically, if there is no TM or if there is no ECC, or event management cannot work. Okay. So, in that case, you have to develop your extractors. Extractors are nothing but your function modules, where you have to code in, where you have to lay down your specification, your condition, like under which condition my event will be reported. Okay. If you say proof of delivery, so proof of delivery is a standard event, but if I directly now tell to the system, hey, I want proof of delivery to be reported only when my scanned document is getting uploaded in your TM system, right? There can be one condition, correct? So scanning means, the consignee signs and the trucker basically, scans those documents, upload as an attachment in the system, and then only your POD should be triggered. If such type of conditions are there, then obviously you can understand that customization alone will not work, because in that case you have to create a document management system where the PPF needs to be set up, output management has to send an action which will basically indicate to the system that my attachment has been uploaded. Then only you need to develop an extractor. So that means it's a coding plus configuration. But if we just want that my POD should be reported at any simple scenario, then you don't need to do any type of development, because it's just a configuration that even not a configuration is required, it's already in place. You just need to activate the RFCs between the two systems. That's it. It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just show you one simple example. See, actually, you will not find any events, because I need to do the RFC setup, which we completed maybe by next week. But I'll just show you where the settings needs to be done. So if you go to SPRO, just let me know if the screens are again, means you can view my screens. So my planning, my freight unit is always under planning. You go to freight unit, you go to freight unit types. So I open any type of freight unit, for example, this one. See, because it says no execution tracking, so whenever you create any freight unit, no event management events will come up. But for event management settings, you need to select this external execution tracking with external event management. Okay. And also you need to specify the application object type. So application object type means whether it's ODT 20 or ODT 30, which one we have shown in the slide, right? You just need to select these values. So this is my freight unit, so my ODT 20 should work. So then you can also specify your last event, like last event maybe my proof of delivery. So you can select my proof of delivery as the last event. Okay. So these are the execution settings. So this is the place where you need, where your EM configuration needs to be updated. Yeah. So unless this setting is done, your event management will not work. Similarly, you need to go into your freight order management. Again, you need to go to your freight order. You need to go to a freight booking, and you have to, there also the event management setup is there. You need to activate those. See execution tracking. So it's the same. Here everything is not, all are no execution tracking, so that's the problem. You just need to activate this. Standard propagation. Again, you need to activate this. So once I complete the setup, I will just show you how to report events and everything. Okay. So this is the place where you need to activate your EM settings.
Indra, a question. So when you select the subject type, so behind the subject type also we have to configure what information has to pass, or just that's a standard template again? Okay, delivery.
That's a standard template. It's a standard template, but those standard templates will work only with standard scenarios. So as I've said, for any type of implementation you will never find that the standards are used. You just need to copy as and then have your own extractor and develop in there. So it's as I've said, that's why
Indra Krishna here. Indra Krishna here. I have a question.
Yeah.
In CRM, we have a concept called alerts. You know, whenever some task is being performed or whenever certain service is being completed, so there will be a concept called alerts. So this alert, it will let the user know that this so and so task, whatever has been finished or completed, then this information will go to the particular business user. So is there a, typical or similar concept where this freight or whatever, it's been shipped, right? In that scenario, once the task is completed, is there a scenario, a concept called like alerts, something like that?
Yes, obviously. So if you see my slide, I have already specified that alerts categories means all those setup are a part of event management. Because that is very much required even for the stakeholders, because they should know if a particular events or have been completed. If an event is not completed, then what are the exceptions that have occurred. So we can define rules there. So the rules will state that, for example, if my departure event has occurred, I should send an alert to my transportation planner that my that activity has been completed. So just like CRM, event management is also very much highly integrated with CRM. So we can do we have, in my project I have seen, in my previous projects also, where, we have developed a custom development program which extracts data from your CRM to EM also. Okay, I will tell you in details. If you are interested, maybe I will speak of this a little bit later, or I can also speak of a scenario there where, alerts, task services, completion, everything is same even in event management. You can do everything.
So are we going, I'm talking in sense of SAP TM perspective, are we going to configure those alerts, or is that something is handled by some other folks?
Alerts is handled by EM consultants, obviously. Okay, but if you ask for this particular course, no, because we will be concentrating more on the TM. But I am also holding a different classes for event management also. So there all will be shown. So there the setting up of alerts and alert categories, the recipients, how will the alerts rules be set up, notifications being done. So all those things will be captured there. But for this TM part, we will not do that. Is it okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is one setup which we have in event management. Now, see, this is not going to work as I've said because I have not set up the RFCs and different other configurations are there. But I just show you where you basically view the events. But I always prefer to have consultants who have ABAP background when they are doing event management, because on an outset it may be very easy, but it's whenever you're doing any, it's if it is a custom development, it's really very tricky, because if you see the configurations which we have in event management, it's 15% configuration, you can say around 75 to 80% you can say it's more of a development work. That's why even, apart from SAP, you will not find any course content for event management. And there is no certification available for event management as of now. Okay, so if you go to, like, for example, let me show you freight order management. If you go to edit freight order, you'll not see any value, but I'm just showing you where you can view the events. Currently it will be blank. So you see here, this is the execution node. This is where you have your event, you have your planned date, you have your actual event date, you have your actual event time, you have your time zones, you have your locations. So all these values are here. So you just need to report an event if the events are coming here, or you can also insert it manually, like insert event manually. So you can just select, I don't know, maybe it is not going to work, but let's see. Proof of delivery. For example, if you're inserting it manually, just give present test, give any locations.